And welcome back to another GACC Podcast, where we're going to be discussing games, animes, computers, and collectibles, but not necessarily all those in one week. I'm still your host, Harrison, and to my right,
James Oki-san.
And to my left,
Boss Pander and Cat Thulu.
Which one is Cat Thulu?
This furry one.
Ah.
This furry one trying to make out with my mic.
So, we got a guest this week, I guess, right?
Yeah?
Yep.
Look at the cat.
So, does anybody have anything they want to start with?
I want to know, would you like to play a game?
Like Dynasty Warriors 9?
Oh my god. Okay, fine. Why? Why would I want to play Dynasty Warriors 9?
Because Dynasty Warriors 9 has been confirmed on PC, and it's not going to be for... and it's also PlayStation 4, because, PlayStation 4.
Yeah, but it's like... is that the only thing that's going to be making this one... interesting?
No, this is an open world rebirth series.
Open
it's beautiful.
world rebirth series.
So basically open world. Like, like Metal Gear Solid 5. It's an open world.
Metal Gear Solid 5 is semi-open world.
Okay, fine. Well, this is going to be open world. It's just not an MMO.
But look at all the beautiful pictures. They even have a panda in the pictures.
And
almost like Panda.
All 83 characters from Dynasty Warrior 8s were slated to return.
Okay.
So
I
never played 8. I played the Gundam one, so I wouldn't know all the characters.
Well, I mean, this series has been going on for such a long time. I mean, we've had, this is all a big spin-off of the Romance of the Three Kingdoms, which is more of a strategy series. This is all just you run around and smash your body into like 200 troops at one time. Mm-hmm. So,
and see how much damage you can do.
Yeah. And
well, the Gundam one is more than just one guy. You actually control a squad of people too.
You can control squad. You can control squads in Dynasty Warrior. Also, they have basically you're the commander or the hero, and you have other people, and you're trying to take over like castles or stuff like that. So it's all the same premise, So this has been announced for the PC again. Last one that's been out, I think, was Dynasty Warrior 8 was on the PC. So Kyoei is it Kyoei Temco?
I think so.
Kyoei Tecmo is continuing to put out their games on Steam, which is good, But
that is good.
We have, no release date or anything has been announced. They just said, hey, we're making this game.
Yeah, pretty much. It's confirming it. So it's not real interesting news, but I thought I'd bring it up.
I mean, the funny thing is like Dynasty Warriors being confirmed as a game is like about as much news as Activision saying we're making another Call of Duty. It's gonna happen. That's what it comes down to nowadays.
It's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Call of Duty working at Burger King.
And regretfully, with that game, you can't make $50,000 a year either.
You probably could.
That was last week we talked about Overwatch.
Oh, damn.
So you scrolled too far through the news. I think.
I think you fail.
Yeah.
I fail. You're gonna have to block that out.
No. So.
Well, where are we at then? Right about here, right?
Yes, right there.
Okay.
So, other news that came out this week. I don't know. This has made a few people rage because, nerds in the internet.
Okay.
Deadpool 2 has shown off Domino, and she's black.
And that's causing people to rage, huh?
Yes. So.
Well, I mean, they did rage because there's a female doctor, so.
True. Yeah, they did rage about that too. There being a.
Oh my god, a female doctor.
Ooh.
Yeah. Well, do you understand the history behind Domino in the Marvel Universe?
No.
Okay.
I actually never read the comics based on that.
Sorry, I was DC.
Well, let me educate the unwashed here on the show real quick. So Domino,
I watched.
Domino is a character. She was introduced in basically X Factor New Mutants in '91. She's a side character, so she's never been like a really big main character, like as part of the team and whatnot. She is basically looks albino, with a black diamond over one of her eyes. Versus the one that's being presented for Deadpool 2 is
black.
It's black with
the white diamond.
With the white diamond. Yeah.
Huh, so it's just opposite.
Yeah, that's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
So
And who
unless
cares?
there's some major story that makes it where she has to be albino, who cares?
No, and there's really not, and that's the thing is I think this is a character that's perfectly fine with adjustments, because how many times in the comic universes where they have alternate universes anyways, where they've already set the precedence where it's, they make a character something else. We've had Nick Fury was it Nick Fury in the Avengers is black? I mean, because that's what's his
Isn't he originally?
No.
Ah.
No, Nick Fury is a basically about the same time as Punisher, so Nam era, so he's an older gentleman, short white cropped hair and black and white cropped hair. And in one of the alternate universes, they made Nick Fury black. So this is... I
don't know why we're raging on this. So
yeah.
It's kind of a pointless rage. Okay.
Pretty much. I mean, even Superman in the DC Comics, I remember the death of Superman, they had the rebirth, and they had the 4 different Supermen. Mm-hmm. You had...
the robot one, the black one.
Yep. The boy, and the blue one. Was he like an elemental or something? I don't think they had a blue one per se. I think they had one that was...
no, not elemental. I know about the other 3. I just can't remember what the 4th one was.
Yeah, nobody does.
It's the nobody. It's the nobody.
Yeah,
nobody's Superman.
Those are the 3 that people remember. And
but it's
the
just
cat.
People will rage, man, regardless.
Yeah.
So, with this one, it's looks like it might be okay. Again, we don't know. I mean, they've been very true so far when they did Deadpool to the comics, for the most part.
Yeah.
And they did the character justice.
To be honest, I'd never read the comics, so.
To me, regardless.
I liked the movie, though.
Yeah.
For what it was worth.
Some people have read books or comics, some have not. The thing is, you have to go into every movie, if you've read the comics, if you've read the books, thinking of it as a separate entity, because the movies are never the same. They're never the same as the books or whatever. And you get a couple that come pretty close, but it's never going to be the exact same, and you have to look at them as 2 different entities to enjoy them.
Yeah. And they've flat out said this is the Marvel cinematic universe.
Unless they really butcher it, and by calling him Ung instead of Aang.
Oh.
What's that from? What's the reference?
That's the Last Airbender.
That's the Last Airbender. Who cares?
Yeah. If they really screw something up terribly where it makes no sense.
He's right. Who cares? Because that movie was bad.
Yeah, everybody hated that movie.
Yeah.
I've never seen it, but everybody else hated it, so I should probably see it.
See, I wouldn't complain if they made a white character black or a black character white.
Yeah.
That wouldn't bother me. What bothers me is when they deviate so drastically from the story that they ruin it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or deviate so far from the character they ruin the character.
Yes.
That's the big problem. So, overall, we'll see what ends up happening. It looks like, we may have a decent Domino,
She looks lovely to me.
Well, yeah. But that's everybody, I'm surprised nobody's complaining about that one yet either.
Give it time.
Yeah.
Hey, wait, I found one. No, I'm just kidding.
Because
she looks lovely?
Yes.
Oh.
Someone will complain about anything.
She's supposed to be ugly. Oh my God.
There'll be complaints. It's, that's the world we live in now. It's like people want to complain about something.
So Sonic the Hedgehog, right? We're talking
We're
about video games. It's not. It's
no. We were talking about comics, and all of a sudden you just took the train set and lifted it.
Well, we were talking about video games, and you took our train and started talking about movies and comics. So technically, you took my train.
There was no segue there. At least there was a segue in the track. So anyway,
segue?
Sonic.
Sonic doesn't need a segue. It's Sonic the Hedgehog.
Oh, Sonic
Ow!
really needs a segue nowadays.
He bit me.
Good.
There's your segue.
So what about Sonic? Since there's nothing in here about Sonic. Go on.
It doesn't have to be anything in there about Sonic.
Okay, go on. What about Sonic?
Sonic the Hedgehog. I've been watching a lot of Sonic Boom.
Sonic Boom?
Is there a cartoon?
There's a cartoon.
Sweet.
There's been cartoons. Which version of it is it?
Yeah, there's been Sonic Underground. That's what we grew up with. But Sonic Boom.
No, there was 2 Sonic cartoons
I
we
didn't
grew up with.
this.
Okay, so
I'm old.
2.
Yeah.
But Sonic Boom is for the new Sonic Boom game that you had on the 3DS. And they made a whole cartoon series about it. It has, I think, 2 seasons. I think.
It managed to make 2 seasons?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God.
I think they're in the 3rd season. And it's actually not that bad. Even with hipster Sonic.
Well, it can't be offensive.
He's offended already because I said hipster Sonic. Look at him, he's offended.
Unless Sonic is being offensive by stealing rings or something. I don't know.
See,
but I don't think Sonic can be offensive. So.
Hipster Sonic.
Oh, Lord.
Go away.
That's from the show.
Go away.
That was from an episode. He doesn't wear the bandana. He wears a scarf.
Does he wear the glasses?
No.
Oh, thank God.
Just the scarf. Throughout
I
the
bet
episode.
he goes to a certain coffee shop that starts with an S. And
nope. Actually, the place they go to is Meburger.
So he doesn't even stick to his whole chili dog thing.
No, he does chili dogs.
Oh, okay, good.
There's a lot of chili dogs in there. Okay. There was an episode for...
As long as they're on a pretzel bun.
I agree with that.
Pretzel buns make them twice as good.
They do. But there he is.
Harrison's an old man.
Basically, he has long legs. He's a hipster.
He's always had...
We had short legs. No.
He's had short... You're right.
Okay, I was going to punch you sideways.
You're right. Over time, his legs have gotten longer.
You remember in the comics?
Well, over time, everybody's legs
back
get
to
longer.
Comics. You remember in the comics that Sonic and even Dr. Eggman, who was Robotnik, had short legs too.
Yes, he did.
But then they had that big gigantic battle where they found the alternate universe and there's the other Robotnik, and then...
Oh, God, no. No. Is there a Facebook page I can catch up all this on?
No, I have the link, though. I can send you all that.
No. I want the Facebook page because...
Dr. Eggman's not actually the original one. He's Dr. Eggman from another
They just destroyed the entire universe because I think they just ended the Archie comic of that anyways.
Pretty much, yeah. That's probably what it was.
I know. My favorite part of Sonic is when you make him wait too long and he just stands there all like... and taps his foot. That's my favorite part.
Have you played Sonic Generations, the video game? Either one of you?
No.
I don't believe so.
You should play it. It's on Steam.
I'll have to check it out.
Is there a Facebook page for this?
What's up with you and Facebook?
You don't even go on Facebook.
I know, right? Is there a Facebook page and he doesn't even use
I'll
it?
tag him on Facebook. He still won't see it.
Because I want to see the Facebook AIs, have fun with Sonic. Because, AI right now becomes a train wreck really fast because we don't understand it. Mm-hmm. And, just like, remember the Microsoft AI that they tried to teach on Twitter? And
yeah, is that the one that threw itself in the water?
No.
Oh, okay.
That's the Microsoft Twitter bot. And, basically the whole internet taught it to be racist. Well, Facebook has been doing AI research also. Mm-hmm. And they've built a couple of chatbots. And they were trying to teach the chatbots how to mimic humans. And they got pretty good so that people themselves could not determine
if it was a human or a robot.
Human or robot, as long as they were trading and bartering with it. But the problem is when they put the two chatbots against each other, they developed their own language. And so they developed their own bizarre trading language for these two trading and barter chatbots. They had to shut them down because they went beyond the scope of what they were supposed to do. But it was just absolutely interesting because
why would they shut it down though? It's not like it's gonna.
They shut it down because it basically went outside of the parameters because it led to a divergence from human language as the agents developed their own language for negotiating. I mean,
it don't look like their own language. Looks like they're trying to make out. She's talking about balls, and he's talking about I can do everything. It looks like they're trying to have robot sex to me.
Well,
in their conversation.
The two bots were supposed to be learning how to trade balls, hats, and books, assigning values to the objects, then bartering with each other. But what they started to use as bartering was words, and Facebook hasn't actually been able to determine even the whole language that they developed. But it was like, Bob and Alice were the two of them. It's like Bob goes, I everything else, ... Alice, balls have 0 to me. And this is speculation at this point that that's some sort of value. Bob goes back, everything else, ... Alice, balls have a ball to me. Bob, I everything else, ... I mean, it just totally nonsensical.
See, everything else, balls, they're talking about robot sex.
I guess, especially because they're named Alice and Bob. So.
Balls have a ball to me.
But the thing is, apparently the error was the Facebook team assigned no reward for conducting the trades in English. That's when the chatbots developed their own terms for the deals.
Wow.
Whoops. See, this is the problem with AI. Humans.
I can't let you do that, Dave.
No.
Pretty much. I mean, but that's really scary AI. Here is human error. And that's the problem with AI, is humans miss something. And that's caused, and so the AI is like, will exponentially magnify human error. So it is kind of scary, you know.
That is kind of scary.
But they shut it down, and it's just kind of being laughed at, right now. But they are trying to make strides in artificial intelligence, and it's so funny because it's like right now, every time humans try to make strides in artificial intelligence, we end up screwing it up.
Oh, yeah.
They need to just forget about it because it's going to be like one of those sci-fi movies. They're just going to screw things up.
They want to get to Skynet or War Games. War Games was a very scary one.
Yeah, it was.
It's like basically it's
screw
like
things up. And
or what was the robot that committed suicide?
Oh, there was a police bot that they had out there, and it said everything is fine, and they just dove face first. I don't know about face, but it just like in the water.
Wow.
Yeah.
And just killed itself.
Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah, so that's totally interesting there.
It's scary. Every time they start talking about the AIs and putting wiring in the walls and all that stuff, it starts getting a little scary, and we've come so far in electronics and computers, and some of it is absolutely wonderful and it's very helpful, but you gotta figure sometimes you're going too far sometimes. You gotta do things on your own.
Well, the scary AI right now is Google, because Google is really good at AI. Because that's how they work with their search results and YouTube and everything else like that. So as far as dealing with AI in that universe, Google is very far ahead. They are light years ahead of everybody else. But right now it's scary because they're utilizing AI, again, with YouTube to help isolate offensive videos that do not violate policy. And this is...
That do not violate policy?
That do not violate policies. So about a month ago or so, basically they had put out a big old blog post about how they were going to start using Google AI to help find extremist content and flag it and shut it down. And they were having about a 75% of videos taken down because of violent extremist content were done so without the help of humans.
So what falls under that category?
That's where it gets interesting.
So what says, the guy just punches someone, and they're like, oh, violence, take it off.
So violent extremist,
like a martial arts instructional video.
That's some of the problem because you think, fine, you're getting rid of violent extremist content, okay? So you're getting rid of like ISIS videos, and that's the thing that comes to everybody's mind.
That shouldn't be on there at all.
Yeah, it shouldn't be on there at all. But when they had the YouTube adpocalypse where they started to use the AIs more to help determine if a video should be monetized or demonetized, Call of Duty videos were getting hit. Like gaming channels got hit very hard because it was
a lot
violent.
Of it was considered violence, yeah.
Yeah, and there's foul language and things like that. So a lot of those were getting hit.
Okay. And then what about historical channels?
Yeah.
What about channels that have to deal with World War II?
Those have been hit a lot over time too, because even though you are historically talking about World War II, which has a tendency to, talk about war, or you have a tendency, you got to talk about Nazis, and a lot of, unless you're talking about very specific things, those still get flagged and lose demonetization. Some of them can get taken down. But what's interesting with this is, so they're saying now that they're going to start using this, as I said earlier, for videos that do not break violations. Okay?
And what will they do with these videos that do not break violation? So
what they're going to start doing over at YouTube is they're going to take videos that don't necessarily break the rules, but are exceptionally controversial or fringe, and they are going to take the videos and essentially they're going to shadow ban them. What's going to happen is the video is not going to get presented or suggested to people, so you're going to have a direct link to it. It's not going to be able to have comments on it. It's not going to be able to be monetized. It's not going to have any other videos correlating, either linking to it or suggested videos, and it's just going to be basically put in a box of just the video.
That doesn't make sense. Like, if you're watching that type of video, it should automatically link to that type of video. Maybe that's what you're interested in. Maybe on purpose you're watching that because that's the type of person you are, or maybe you're watching that for some reason. Who knows what kind of videos there? Maybe you're studying something on it. Who knows why you're watching it? Maybe to you it's not offensive, but you're watching that kind of video. So on your little list over here to the right, it should show those kind of videos.
And that's where it gets concerning, because basically they're trying to handle things that are either radicalization or hate speech. And hate speech is such a vague term, right?
Yep.
Now, the one that started to ring alarm bells with people is the fact that they are bringing in groups to help them set up the AI.
Okay.
And the groups that they're bringing in, they start off with the Anti-Defamation League, the No Hate Speech Movement, and the Institute for Strategic Dialogue. And the Anti-Defamation League is the one that threw up so many alarm bells, because they are the ones that labeled Pepe the Frog a hate speech symbol during this last year. A cartoon character has been labeled a hate speech symbol. Okay?
Little frog that's talking about feelings?
Yeah.
He has feelings.
Well, that's a lot of the memes that it's used in. No. The feels.
So, this is for videos that can contain controversial religious or supremacist content that doesn't necessarily violate YouTube's policy. They'll be put into this limited shadow ban state.
Okay.
So the thing with this is, it's like, it's very dangerous for people to have like niche groups of things. It's like, let's say somebody's talking about, and I don't want to get into the actual conversations here, but we're just going to say, for examples, let's say somebody's talking about feminism. Okay. And somebody's presenting a different side to feminism. Let's say somebody's talking about, they're talking about some sort of news thing that happened, like a terrorist attack. Okay, and with the terrorist attack, let's say you're a mainstream channel talking about it, like NBC or CNN, and you're talking about that. You're allowed to be monetized, and we've seen examples of this already, where the independent people like Phil DeFranco or somebody else like that is talking about the same terrorist attack that happened, and they get demonetized or they get shadow banned because now they are considered the extremist content. So it hurts a lot of the independent creators, not just the small ones, but also the big ones. let's say somebody's talking about, what's happening in their world. Let's say, in the religious context, somebody's talking about, they want to talk about, Islam, the religion. And somebody says, somebody's putting out a video that says, I used to be Islam. These are some of the things that happened, whether it's good or bad. And they could potentially be hit as limited state, even though they are presenting their viewpoint and it doesn't violate the policies. Somebody could say, this is hate speech against Islam.
They have no business putting that off to the side because it does not violate. And quite frankly, if they want to block it somehow because they think that it's improper for children or whatever, they can still put it in the list, but have the thing like Facebook does. If they think it's inappropriate for some people, they put a little message over it and you have to click that you accept watching that.
Well, there's already restricted mode already.
I mean, there's plenty of advertisers that are like, just put my excuse my language, my ads up. Just put my ads up. Don't touch my stuff.
You don't have the mic in front of you. You're talking off to the mic like this.
Yeah, but it sounds fine.
Okay.
Stop messing with my stuff. Now we got to start again. Okay. There's plenty of advertisers that are still going to put their ads on stuff regardless. Maybe that doesn't offend them.
That's potentially true, but the whole YouTube adpocalypse thing came about because apparently ads were being put on videos that were flat out deemed
family.
No, hate speech.
Oh wait, no, different one.
Hate speech. Yeah, the other videos like they were. The title was something that was absolutely derogatory and offensive. Mm-hmm. And people were like, "Why does this video have ads on it?" Okay, so that's there are going to be people that are going to break the rules.
Always will be.
Then you get kicked.
The problem is when you knee jerk too far.
And they're knee jerking too far.
They're knee jerking too far is when you start to go, okay, this doesn't break the rules, but somebody's offended.
So we're banning you.
Somebody could be offended by anything.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. It's like, I mean, sure. It starts to look a little bit like 1984, where
that's a good book.
It's a good book, but a scary book too, if you think about it, where everything's being monitored and where you're cracking down too much, where basically it's like the only thing you can do is going to be sunshine and rainbows. Okay.
And lollipops.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Don't forget lollipops.
Yeah. Or what's the other one with Sylvester Stallone?
Demolition Man. Demolition Man. Yeah.
The 3 seashells.
Yeah. Taco Bell.
Yeah. And
the Food Wars. Yeah.
And I think that's the big and I think is really because of this last year, having these groups saying that things are hate speech, even though there's an entire other side, where they end up going, no, this is not hate speech, even though they are offended by it. They're worried. Basically, there's at least, I would say about 40% probably, the people that are concerned, because you have basically, these groups are very considered PC culture. Mm-hmm. And we had this huge backlash that started this last year with like the anti-PC culture, where it's like people are getting too offended over everything.
I'm offended right now.
You're offended right now?
I'm offended that people are offended.
I'm just offended for no reason.
Yeah. Mm. So we better shut this down and
shut it down.
Put ourselves in the corner. But it was like one example, of just how absurd this stuff could potentially be is the U.S. military. Mm-hmm. They had put out a tweet for their talking about their new armor, for their new high-tech armor for the special forces and everything like that. And he says like, hey, we got this new armor we're working on, but there's still a few chinks in the armor we need to work out. Okay. So the internet blew up and got super offended because the word chink.
But it means multiple things. They're not saying it in that way.
Yeah.
They said chinks in the armor.
I saw that coming from a mile away.
You saw?
Yeah.
Really?
I mean, I did have to explain to a friend of mine, though, when she kept saying, instead of squinty eyes, she'd say chinky eyes. I did have to explain to her that was using that word wrong.
Yeah, and the thing, and that's the problem right now is the people are looking for something to get offended over. And chinks in the armor is a term that has been used for hundreds of, if almost not thousands of years.
Chip in the armor. I have a chip in my armor.
Well, it wasn't called chip in the armor. It was called chinks in the armor.
A chip too.
A chink in the armor is a reference to a flaw or a place that is exposed enough that can be attacked. But military terms and everything has been used. The U.S. Army had to actually take that tweet down, even though people started to come back and go, "You're silly for being offended by this because this is the full phrase." Yeah, and
they're not even referring to those people are silly.
Yeah. So I mean, what it comes down to typically is you have your fringe groups on both sides. Fine, you're gonna have your fringe groups, and then you have your people that are, more towards like reasonable or unreasonable, and then you have your people that are fence sitters typically. And it's these groups like the Anti-Defamation League are kind of viewed as being more towards the fringe of one side or the other of a viewpoint. So, they're very much about being offended by things. This has obviously the air side worried, and we're just gonna have to see what happens. But people are looking for other platforms right now because of this.
I could tell you what I'm offended by.
What?
DLCs.
DLCs?
I hate DLCs.
Whoa, that sounds like hate speech right there.
I'm offended by DLCs. In fact, Legend of Zelda, which has consumed my life, The Breath of the Wild, has now had the DLC for the new game, The Breath of the Wild.
That's officially came out. So what's so special about this DLC?
You get new suits, new armors, and new mask.
Do you need it?
Is it cool?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Does it enhance your play experience any?
Actually, I don't know. I'd have to find out.
Or is it a skimpy bra?
No, it's you get Majora's mask, you get Medina's mask, you also get the Phantom armor. So that one actually does help you.
The Phantom armor's pretty cool.
Armor would help you probably against fighting phantoms. No one wants Tingle's outfit.
Yeah, I was going to say that looks pretty
no one in their right mind wants that outfit.
Except for the YouTubers.
Tinkly.
Korok's
it looks
mask.
pretty tinkly.
No one wants that. But yeah, it's going to be coming out soon with the new expansion. With the DLC.
I think the Phantom armor looks cool.
The Phantom armor does look awesome, doesn't it?
And maybe Midna's helmet.
They are adding 2 more modes, apparently. They're adding Master Mode and the Hero's Path mode.
The Hero's Path, the Sword Path, whatever it's called. I think it's called, right? Or just Hero's Mode?
It's called Hero's Path.
Which is the one where you just basically take on a wave of enemies after enemies. I think that's the Master Mode.
Is that?
There's there's a Sword Mode or something like that in here.
Yeah, I think that's the Master Mode.
Trial of the Sword, no.
Oh,
Trial of the Sword is where you basically face an onslaught of enemies, one wave after another. So it does have other stuff with it. I'm just not a huge DLC fan. That's why I said I'm offended by that, because I don't know, man.
You had better hope that you have lots of snacks sitting on your desk before you start that.
Right.
So you think, okay, so
there are good things about DLCs.
Yeah, I mean, DLCs that you don't need to play the game are perfectly fine. Okay. And it's
like Mass Effect when they released their DLC. No, that was a good one. That was a good one.
The problem is a lot of times a lot of DLC now becomes more like a season pass type thing where you almost need it to actually play the game. And
I hate when they do that.
Yeah. But cosmetic things, I mean, with DLC, you don't need. Obviously people go, why wasn't this just part of the game anyways? But if you think about it, this is one of those things that actually helps to enhance the gameplay over time or make you come back.
Come back and play it again?
Yeah. They decide to add more
I'll
content.
try it now with the DLC. I'll try it now with the Phantom armor.
Yeah.
I just don't like that when they do that, especially a game you have to pay every month to play. And then they're like, hey, you got to pay this too to add this on.
Oh, you mean like Diablo 3?
Or you're held back. Well, I don't have to pay every month. Diablo's free.
I'm talking about when they released the Necromancer. You had to pay $15 for him.
Oh, yeah, I haven't put him on mine yet.
But that's for a new character. You don't need to pay that to play that. But I
probably will whenever I start playing again.
Talking more like MMOs. At that point where
I don't think there's any DLCs. Well, are you talking about
or
expansions?
Xbox One or PS4, where you have to pay for the gold to be able to play online at $60 a year, and then you still have to buy the game
and fork up the membership for that game.
And expansions and stuff are ridiculous because let's say you're paying $15, $20 a month to play, and then you're paying another, depending on the game, anywhere from $20 to $60 to get every expansion. And then they're like, hey, if you want the special armor, the special mount, the special pet, or extra gold, whatever the heck you want, you're paying another $5 to $100 for this stuff. Mm-hmm. So they're just like gouging every which way. And you're like, but I really want that because it's like, oh my God, that's so cool. And it gives me extra stats and everybody else has it. And
I'd be okay if the DLC was like $5. $10.
Well, right now, the Breath of the Wild is like, there's an expansion pass, which is a season pass for $20. So the individual one's probably like $10 or something like that. But right now, it looks like the 2-packs are only available as a bundle. So
$20.
$20.
So if you're into it, it's not really that bad.
This one, I am. But I'm just saying, I just hate DLCs in general because a lot of times DLCs aren't really worth it.
Yeah.
And it's just something that you're like, why wasn't that just put out with the game?
Well, yeah, that is a big
there's
thing.
more play in it too. It's not just those couple. For that couple of costumes, I'd be like, no.
No, this one's fine. One's fine because this one they have trials and they have other stuff that you could do. They didn't just go, here's outfits and outfits only.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Which is kind of like a huge problem. I mean, DLCs can definitely be a hit or miss. I mean, you had Skyrim with its. I think Skyrim's like the most notorious for horse armor.
Borderlands.
Borderlands.
I think Borderlands was the worst because it was like, here, have this armor, now have this armor, now pay for this armor, now pay for this. Granted, it was all cheap. It was all like dollars for soup, but there was like a huge list of things, and then you have to buy
your credit card
pass,
is like
your credit card's like $1, $2, $3. Yeah, exactly.
And your credit card company hates you because somebody's sitting there having to put all that in there,
right? Someone's going, this mother. Why didn't you just buy them all at once? Why did he have? Yeah.
Damn.
So
geeks.
actually, one of the more controversial ones that happened was the Saboteur. They had an expansion called the Midnight Show. Okay,
sounds nutty.
And it kind of was. Basically, it took they had burlesque shows because it was based in France during World War II and whatnot, and so it made it so that instead of having like pasties or things like that, now the burlesque ladies actually were nude. And so basically you were paying $15 for nudity, and it didn't really add anything to it. And then they shut down the servers. So now you have this DLC
game and a DLC that you're like, I can't use it.
Yeah.
Yep. That's why I hate that. That was my complaint on DLCs.
Yeah.
Go give that $15 to a real woman. See him in real life.
So $5 allowed you to have like digital titties.
I thought you said 15.
No, not for. I was talking about the Midnight Show. I didn't say any price to it yet. It's $5. Gave you digital titties, and
still go to a strip bar, pay $5 to a real woman, see real titties.
Well, you never know with people. I mean,
and maybe they'll even spend some time with you.
Well, nowadays that's going to be a problem because we're having a hard time getting the next generation out of the house. So you have what's kind of being dubbed by all the smart people.
Okay.
You have the millennials, and the next generations here being called Generation Z or the iGen.
The iGen.
The iGen. And
sounds like Apple owns them.
They kind of do because it's a time with smartphones, and the smartphones really blew up in about 2007 with the iPhone. Okay, and so a psychologist or psychiatrist ended up tracking all this and has found some interesting results for.
Yeah, he did.
For it, saying and the article is basically called "Is Are Smartphones Destroying a Generation?" And it's really interesting because, basically they say that the Generation Z basically starts with about 1995 on. And the smartphones really took off in about 2007. So about the time the kids were starting to hit adolescence on. And at this point, we already have a generation that has been fully equipped with the internet. Okay.
Yep.
And they're wondering if it's going to be causing a mental health crisis, because these kids are actually some of the safest that they've ever been, because they don't leave the house.
Outside,
They don't leave the house. They don't go out really and party. They don't want to go drive,
Yeah.
because their parents will chauffeur them around. Their parents don't complain, you can watch everything online. If they do go out to the mall, they're wanting to check in every 30 minutes or an hour with their parents via phone or text or something like this, because they are so connected. And a lot of them don't necessarily get out, sure, some still go out and party. Okay. But where the problem comes to is, what ends up happening is the kids are so socially aware when they are not invited to something nowadays, because they can see it on Facebooks and Twitters and Snapchat and Instagram. Adolescents already have a hard time, with emotions and hormones and everything else like this. They feel like they are being left out. So it has also caused a increase in suicide rate among teens, and depression. Yeah.
I didn't get invited to your birthday party, so I'm going to kill myself?
Kind of, yeah. Or cyberbullying. Cyberbullying, this is one of those places where cyberbullying, because of all this connection.
I can see that one more, because people are putting stuff out, putting like pictures of them out and stuff, and it's more out there than back when we were in school. And bullying was bad even then, get jumped when you get off the bus, get, picked on all the time. Your books are knocked down, hit in the head, whatever.
But you had some time to get away from that.
You didn't see that, like, I didn't have a computer. I didn't have a smartphone and stuff. I didn't see that stuff constantly on my phone.
Yeah, and that's the thing, is because they are online so much. That's the issue right there.
And that's just, they have that going out, and it's going out to more people, and those people are all making fun of them, and they feel like, I can't get away from this. Mm-hmm. And that's just really terrible.
And the problem is actually, there's actually almost double the suicide rate from cyberbullying among females as there is males. And it's all because
the slut shaming and stuff like that.
Well, true, stuff like that too. But the thing is as you probably know, women, especially teenage girls, are more likely to be verbally abusive versus guys when they get into it and get bullied. Is fisticuffs, but the women are more likely to be conniving, right?
And just say stuff, and whether it's true or not, they will say stuff, and they will make up stuff, and
rumors and everything. Yeah, if guys get picked on, it's usually physical. Girls pick on each other mentally, and that is something that's been happening for generations. But now it's 24/7. They're exposed to it, So that's part of the reason why with the teenage girls, there's still a higher suicide rate than with the guys. And these numbers have been the same. It's just that they're blowing up. Did you scroll through and see like some of the graphs in regards to this?
I did.
It's amazing. They like say, here's where the iPhone came out. It's just like, now, granted, there's some good things in this. Like they're not drinking as much. Mm-hmm. They're not smoking. They're not having, they're not going out and like just having
unprotected sex.
Unprotected sex.
Just to say it.
They're really not very, they're also socially awkward.
Yes.
And
that's definitely a thing too.
Not able to handle things too when they get out in the real world.
Yeah.
And you notice that when you get a lot of the kids coming in to work, that a lot of the younger generations are changing so much. They can't handle the stuff that the older ones can.
Yeah. And the worst thing is like we're sitting here talking, but we're still actively listening to each other. And I've seen this, and I'm gonna flat out call out all the coins and jack the rip off on this, because they are youngins, and they're but they're at what would potentially be the older side of what would be Generation Z or the iGen, because when you're talking with those two, as soon as they start to lose focus sometimes, they're on their phones looking at something else. And so we have this entire generation growing up. They're talking to each other while also looking at their phones. And they're saying, oh, no, they're multitasking, you know?
I do that. What are you talking about?
Well,
I'm the old one.
Sometimes there's a need to put down the phone where it's just like, they're passively listening. Okay. James, you are the worst offender of this that I know out of our age group.
See what I did there?
Yeah.
I was sitting there the entire time.
I know, but you are like one of the worst offenders of this for passive listening.
Listening?
Where you're only catching half the conversation because you're busy playing a video game or you're on your phone and you're doing something else. And that's one of the things that's happening even more so with the younger generation. And it's just sometimes where you're just like...
So it's all my fault. Got it.
Yeah, sure.
But I will call you out even on this one.
I know, buddy.
We will go, it don't matter, like a group of friends or the family, any of us, go to dinner or lunch. Everybody is like this.
It's a common thing that's happening since the advent of the iPhones.
Yeah.
Okay. But it's weird because it's not like, we're still different because we're looking up information or we're going to reply to text or something else like that. We're not sitting there Snapchatting and then replying to the other people's Snapchats while we're all right there. It's just so weird. And it's interesting seeing, this
It is
stuff.
interesting. And those were some interesting charts too.
Yeah. Let me get down here to the charts because this is a huge article from the psychologist. And it's just,
well, he's been doing it for years.
They're saying like 3 out of 4 teenagers own an iPhone or some sort of smart device. And I would have to say more than 75% are fully connected to the internet at all times. And they say the big thing is like the ones that are online feel worse. They feel lonelier or worse or whatnot than the ones that actually put it down and do something else. Those are the ones that feel happier. Like the ones that actually learn how to put down their phone and go like be creative, like draw or something else. Get away from being connected to technology all the time. So it's just this is something that we're going to probably have to see going more and more about what's going on. They're worried, these young kids, because are so worried about self-image. Once you get past a certain age, you don't give a care about self-image anymore. But when you're young, you do.
It's wonderful to have your phone, to have that connection, to be able to play games whenever you want, listen to your music, check Facebook. It's wonderful. And I do have my phone on me, the majority of the time. But it's also nice to go work out in the yard or to hang out with friends, go have lunch.
But you're not sitting there. But you're not sitting there.
It's nice to do that.
But you're not sitting there worried about, this Instagram post didn't get as many likes as it usually does.
I do.
You do?
No.
If somebody doesn't like my Facebook post,
I do have Instagram.
Yeah. So
I don't have Instagram.
But it's like Twitter or it's like, anything. They put up a video, the mean comments and everything else like that. They just have a hard time handling it. But it's just, where's the charts?
You got to realize somebody's not going to like everything
but
you do, no matter what.
They are saving the libraries, though.
Well, yes and no. Let me say something else real quick before we go over to the libraries. The biggest thing is that the psychologist is saying, and some parents have figured this out, is put the damn phone down. Restrict some usage. That way they have to interact socially with people and everything else. Because these kids that's the thing they fall asleep with. They fall asleep next to it. It's like their comfort blanket. And it's the first thing they reach for in the morning. College through teens. But with the library, sure, you would think they're going to be putting the phone down, right?
No, they won't.
Yeah.
No, they can't because there's free internet there.
That's the thing.
Isn't there internet on your phone, though, already?
You have 4G.
You have 4G, but you can use up that data real quick if you don't have an unlimited plan.
Right.
So then you go to the library and you get free internet.
Yeah, and if you need to do research on anything or type
There's
of
free
paper,
books.
Yeah. They have free books.
What's a book?
Well, the funny thing is this is the libraries trying to stay.
I actually have a lot of books.
Trying to stay relevant. So they have internet, they have computers, they have like 3D printers, they have other things technology wise. So public libraries are trying to adapt to technology, and the millennials go, I can use this for free. Because a lot of millennials have crippling student debt. and can't afford a lot of things. Okay? So,
and that's why you would go there.
Ramen noodles.
Ramen noodles and libraries.
Libraries should carry ramen noodles and frozen pizzas and stuff, just like a little bitty shopette or something.
Right? That's a good idea.
Oh my God.
That way you're like, oh man, I could really go for some food, right? Oh hey, there's a little bar over there. Like a little coffee shop with like a microwave and a concession stand.
They make money.
A little coffee shop with a concession stand. That would be a good idea.
Yeah, so it's like, it's funny because we think that libraries now is like, the people that are going there are typically the homeless or the old. Mm-hmm. But
it's not.
It's not.
It's the millennials.
Yeah. So, it's weird that so millennials are causing a boom to libraries. So libraries are kind of having a renaissance, but libraries have adapted to the public. But what's the other thing in this article is, they glance over it, but millennials are destroying or killing off a lot of things, such as, it seems like fabric softener, gambling, marriage,
manners,
department stores.
Yeah, they sure as heck don't have any manners.
Because they're buying on Amazon.
Online.
Think about it.
Well, so are we, though.
Yes and no.
Certain things.
True, I don't buy everything on Amazon.
So cities like Austin or bigger cities where a lot of where there are heavy millennial populations, Amazon has direct delivery of groceries to the home, so they don't even have to leave the house. Okay, you get toilet paper delivered to your door within 2 hours.
I know.
Okay.
I need to poo. Click, 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 click.
just sit on the toilet, just shaking your legs.
He just tosses. You keep your window open. He just tosses it up. You're like, thanks.
Yep. And that's the thing. It's like, and this is like 18 to 35-year-olds for the millennials.
Yeah.
So sure, use the public library because you have. You're realizing
our library when I was growing up was always busy. We had a really nice library too.
Well, yeah, I used the library as a kid, but the thing is, we didn't have the internet. When we had to do research or read books or things like this, you didn't have the prevalence to be able to buy books online everywhere.
Didn't we have the Macintoshes later?
Yeah, the little green screens.
Some libraries did.
True.
I had a Commodore.
A lot of libraries.
Well, I didn't. My parents had a Commodore. A lot
of libraries didn't really start to incorporate computers into them for the public to use until the early 2000s. Mm-hmm. And even then, they were still ahead of the curve at that time. So, yeah, it's been an interesting thing there. So that's the weird thing with the libraries is millennials are saving them, even though they're using everything else like Facebook. And speaking of Facebook, again, not AI this time.
It's something local.
Yeah, something local. So obviously in New Mexico, everybody probably knows about this, but this is, for any listeners outside. So there's a Facebook data center that's being put up in Los Lunas, which is about 45 minutes south of Albuquerque. And this is supposed to open in 2018. It's supposed to be almost 500,000 square feet. Well, within the last 3 weeks or so, they actually made an announcement. They are already expanding that data center and putting up a second building. So that is also almost 500,000 square feet.
I thought the first one was in Los Alamos and then the second one's going to be in Los Lunas.
No, they're both Los Lunas.
Oh, okay.
They're both Los Lunas.
Cool.
So almost 1 million square feet is being put up for data centers for Facebook in New Mexico here. And some of the things that people don't necessarily know with this is they are actually going to put in a couple 100 miles of high-speed fiber connections and everything else like that. This data center is supposed to be ran by 100% green energy. So that means solar and wind power is part of the requirement for this. So it's generating jobs in the green energy sector. And then, they're going to be expanding or enhancing the pipe. And that's already here running through the Albuquerque area because a lot of people don't realize, it's like part of the old internet infrastructure runs right through Albuquerque because of Sandia National Labs. Back in the 70s, even when the ARPANET was made and DARPA, to connect the labs and universities and everything. It's like most of it you see going kind of up towards the north through like Chicago and everything else like that, and all along California up through Washington. There's also a big hub that goes right through Albuquerque because of Sandia and Los Lunas, which is where Los Alamos, where Los Alamos National Labs is, because there's a lot of science and technology that goes on in Albuquerque. Mm-hmm. So we are actually very well connected and positioned. Cool. So I was glad to finally see some company, you know, you can have your own opinions about Facebook, but I was glad to see some high-tech company go, hey, this is actually a really good place to build, you know, because it's
good for us too.
It'll bring a lot of jobs, at least in that sector.
In the high-tech sector, we're actually seeing a lot more companies looking now at New Mexico.
And really, if you are in this area, technical jobs, nursing jobs, and trucking jobs. If you know how to do one of those, you're going to get a job.
Yeah.
Those are the three big ones right now around here.
Yeah, and the high-tech companies are starting to take off more, you know, in this area. But Facebook is going to bankroll the $45 million solar project. So Facebook is actually putting in the money for the whole clean energy for their data center. And data centers use a lot of energy. It is ridiculous how much they have to spend on it.
Wonder if they're going to make all their techs, you know, ride little bikes.
Like Segways?
While they're, you know, like pedal bikes to run their computers and stuff.
Is that modern day slave labor at this point?
Not if you're paying them. You're still paying your techs, but they have to pedal to work. They're computers.
Uh-huh.
Or maybe you just have...
You feed your slaves so that they still row the ship, okay?
Maybe you have a job specifically, and there's just people sitting behind the techs pedaling bikes to make everything work. Mm-hmm. And that's their job.
Oh, gosh. Why don't you just feed
That'd
them
be a
beans
tiring
and then
job,
you'll have
though.
your wind power that you need.
All right, I'm done. And I'm done.
Well, okay, fine. So with Facebook and all this technology and smartphones we've been talking about, there's a new one. There's a new prototype that's been announced. And I did wonder if this was something else, but no. This is actually by a company called Red. And they are known for...
the phone.
Yeah, they are known actually typically for high-end digital camera type stuff. It's called the Red Hydrogen prototype. It's been shown off. It's a new phone, and it has a holographic display like the Nintendo 3DS.
I don't know if I want to put hydrogen. Yeah, hydrogen.
It's called the hydrogen.
Okay.
Okay? You're not putting hydrogen anywhere near you, even though you... Here, let me put some hydrogen near you.
No!
So...
It's like, I don't know.
So they're going to have a holographic display in this. They're going to have rear dual cameras. They're going to have the ability to add on additional modules, kind of like some of the Motorola Motos do. Yeah. And these is really crazy because it's like they're talking about this phone, and Red's is known for cameras. Okay. So this is maybe the go-to phone for your videographers.
And what's it called again?
The Red Hydrogen.
Cool. When will it be released?
They haven't necessarily said when it's going to be released. I think 2018.
Okay, so it's announced Dynasty Warriors 9.
Well, they said 2018. I think it's towards the end of the year. Or not towards the end of 2018, but they're talking about the beginning of 2018. The next... They're
after you trade your phone in, it's going to come out, and you're going to be like, damn, I just traded my phone in.
So first quarter 2018 is actually when they said they're going to actually reveal more about the phone in the next 45 days. Pre-orders for the phone are priced at $1,200 or $1,600 for a titanium body version.
Holy hell.
This is a high-end phone.
That better be unbreakable.
Well, titanium is pretty unbreakable.
Well, the screen and everything better be unbreakable.
But we're talking about, this is a 3D visuals without the need to wear glasses, kind of like the 3DS. Yeah. How long has the 3DS been out? Years. And been able to do this? Years. Mm. Okay. We're finally getting this into a smartphone. So you have a holographic style display. But it makes me wonder about the Wonder product that's supposed to be a VR based. How are they going to compete with something like this? Now, granted, this is a very high end niche product. Okay. But there are a lot of people that are going to pay basically double the price of what they pay right now for a iPhone 7 to have a holographic display, have the add-on modules and everything else like this. And this is something...
So, like, if I call you and I have my phone and then you just pop up in the room?
No, not that kind of hologram.
Not that type of hologram. It's going to show up... not that.
Not 3D.
You'll dance up on my screen?
Man, only if you're looking straight at it. It's not the...
Well, I'm not paying $1,600 for a phone that don't give me a real damn holograph.
Holographic dick pics.
Yeah.
That's what she wants.
Yeah, and boobies.
She wants that dick to really pop out at her.
Alrighty then.
And that's where we're going with the internet, folks.
Yep.
Well, this has been the GACC Podcast. You can listen to us on iTunes and on Google Music underneath the podcast section in audio format only. We are up in video on YouTube and on VidMe. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. If there's anything you want us to talk about or have any comments you'd like us to know more about, let us know in the comments below. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Butts and I cannot lie.
You other brothers can't deny.
When a world walks in.
When a world walks in with an itty bitty waist. When the world.
Oh, you're trying to be cute.
When the whole world walks in.
Yeah. Look at Daddy trying to be
grab that
cute.
ass.
I'm gonna get your belly. Oh, you're gonna give me kisses.